It's a thing.
I'll accept the analogy.
Good. The 4 girls are lifted to their feet and herded into the jail.
Like cats.
Where, let's see, spotted in the jail, assuming that you want to follow Jax as he herds them into the jail.
I would help corral them as well.
Sure. There are 5 other prisoners currently kept there in varying states of damage.
Which one is either most beat up or least starved?
Let's see. Fletch really can't say just with a casual
Except the
look.
one that I'm sure I easily recognize.
Fletch can't say. They all look like they've sustained. So he would have to do some in-depth analysis to determine, like, alright, which one of you is the healthiest? But all 4 of the girls are thrown into a prison cell together.
I think he's more asking, who does it look like got added most recently?
I know which one already.
Like, you wouldn't be able to tell that just by a glance at their injuries. And Jack says...
No, but I would recognize one from a few weeks ago.
You would recognize one of them, yes. He looks a bit different without the red felt fedora hat and the zoot suit. It looks like he's seen a lot of better days.
My cat agrees.
So does the train.
Are they all in the same cell or are they in separate cells?
They're all in separate cells.
I'm gonna walk up to the one that Alfonso's in.
They all look up at you, those who are conscious. Not all of them are, with like a mixture of like horror and terror as if the nightmare's about to continue. Isn't that right, Train? Yes, it is. Horror and terror. Alfonso, for his part, has like one eye sealed shut due to injury, but he favors Fletch with his one good blue one. And
I've been told, you're supposed to be dead.
Alfonso shrugs and says, I'm sure everyone's been told many things that aren't true.
So this is a interesting situation we seem to find you in.
He doesn't respond.
If I were to let you out, what are you going to do?
Don't know. Is
Your
my brother
brother's dead, by the way.
Mm-hmm. He looks
along with everything else that those fuckers sent at us.
He looks up to the ceiling for a bit as if he considers this. Takes maybe 10-15 seconds. And he looks back down and he says, "Are you sure he's dead?"
More or less.
What does that mean?
It means more or less.
I don't buy that.
We go into details later, but suffice it to say, I don't think he's in any condition to be doing anything at the moment.
Really? I've seen him regenerate limbs before.
Yeah, from how much? What about the limbs regenerating the rest of him?
Never been in a situation where that's popped up.
What about his, for some strange reason, beating heart being cut out?
He has no heartbeat.
Not anymore.
Love it.
Alfonso shrugs. You're the one who killed him. Or so you say.
Headless, bodiless, and mostly burned to a crisp. Not too worried about him right now.
It's like you're trying to convince yourself. I killed him.
I really did.
I swear.
I said he was more or less dead, and I'm not worried about it at the moment. Because he doesn't seem like he can do much of anything. It might change, we'll see.
Just so nonchalant.
So if I let you out, what happens next?
You're the man with the gun. What happens next?
The way I see it, We're probably alive because of you. Well,
There's
there were
no
other
wrong.
factors at play, but at least you're alive because you let us out. Not typically one for second chances, but maybe you've earned it in this case.
Alfonso shrugs.
Also,
There-
here you basically let the most recent one go.
I might have had something to do with Samantha leaving.
Yeah, we made sure she got out.
Good.
So the keys happen to be laying around here somewhere.
They're on one of the girls, which can easily be removed and used.
Yeah, let's take
Jax
it.
removed them, in order to lock the girls inside one of the cells.
We'll, unlock Alfonso's at least.
Okay, you unlock Alfonso's cell.
Take a step or two back.
Alfonso, sort of in a hobbled walk, looks like he has suffered some severe internal bleeding as well. Shambles. I know the word shamble. Out of the cell.
Your hat's laying outside on a pile of bodies.
Oh, you didn't burn it.
I don't think they got to it yet. We kind of messed up the recent plans.
I figured as much. He said he could track anyone he had marked down. I figured he would go after the girl.
Yeah, he probably should have let her go.
Hmm.
You gotta smoke.
Look over at Tony.
Tony will hand him one of his precious cigarettes.
Alright. Alfonso will take the cigarette and then say, "You got a lighter?"
You know what? I do have a lighter. And then he'll light him up.
Alright. Alfonso nods appreciatively and puts the cigarette in his mouth, right where it belongs.
So what was supposed to happen to you next?
Alfonso blinks and then shrugs, says, "Don't know. Brother never got that far. He said he didn't want to kill me out of hand after what happened. He finally realized that the accidental escapes were more than accidents."
When did he change? What exactly happened there?
Alfonso cracks and says, "Happened sometime during the siege that we had. That was when the four of you escaped. I lost track of him. I was sent to an entirely different area to overlook the escape route in case everything went bad. My brother didn't like me so much on the front lines. He said I didn't have the heart for it. During that time, I lost sight of him. Whenever we ended up making our escape, I thought he was dead. I'm not exactly sure how he came to be in the position that he was in, only that when he arrived in the camp of refugees that we were fleeing towards Artesia one night, that we were all practically powerless to resist. Not for lack of trying. We expended quite a number of our remaining bullets on him.
Huh. What do you want to do now?
Fonzo says, "Don't know. Haven't fought that far yet. Thought I'd die just like all the others. Life has changed a lot more than what I thought it would."
Yeah, well, seems like things are still changing, what with things like that happening.
I'd be worried about seeing any more of them. I know what it's like to live under the weight and rule of one. Creatures like that call themselves desiccation. Deathless and intelligent, not like the others.
Yeah, well, the way I see it, live free or die.
I feel like I've heard that before somewhere.
Not for several more years.
This is just
I'm sure somebody has said it in the past.
So it's like, I feel like I've heard that before somewhere. Anachronism?
Well, you
He's
may
the one who
have
said it
noticed. Yeah.
in this timeline.
If only there was somebody to write it down. Some fucker like Columbus is going to get all the credit. What do you bring to the table?
Alfonso blinks with his one good eye now, and he looks down at himself and how fucked up his suit now is.
Tony can nod sympathetically. They're suit brothers.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Tony is not nearly that well dressed. Come on.
My suit has seen worse days.
He chuckles and says, "Once upon a time, I was quite good at a variety of things. I was more of a gymnast in my time. Won a few competitions. Also like to partake in a bit of fighting, not traditional fighting. But that changed after," and he spins a finger in the air, "all of this. My brother wanted to live out his dreams of being a gang boss, as if we were living in Prohibition times.
Oh, tyrannical moron.
Something to that effect. He was family, and I
Yeah.
thought I could control some of his less favorable qualities."
Let's pretend for a second that you wanted to come with us, which I seem like is only a fair offer since you did put your life on the line for us, and apparently others. What could you offer the group?
Well, there's the intimate knowledge of fighting these damn things. The fact that I can hold myself well in a fight, unless it's from something like my brother, at which point going toe-to-toe with him when I don't have a gun, that went a little rough.
You put your mind to it, it's not too bad. Gives him a smile.
I don't know. There's some things that mind alone can't conquer.
Prove it.
Well, Alfonso says, "Well, I mean, if you..."
How are you with a gun?
Alfonso says, "Well, shotgun, Muzi. I got it pretty well. Good marksman. I was a deviant."
Seems to be an abundance of them surviving these days.
If you're looking for someone to sit at the diplomatic table or figure out how to grow food or fix your shit, that ain't me.
Not to be callous about it, because seemed like a pretty good man. But your asshole brother's charade that he's done here caused us to lose one of our own.
Ah.
And not to boil it down to numbers, but you seem like you might be able to handle the things he did.
Well, what sort of things did he do?
You know, keep watch, shoot shit.
Stuff.
See, keeping watch. Well, After this other eye heals, he points to the one that's swollen up.
Assuming you're willing to keep better watch than you did of your prisoners, kind of says with a lighthearted type smoothing smile.
Alfonso says, nah, that was the sort of thing that fell into my deviant wheelhouse.
Well, it's kind of something everybody does in the group, so that's the most basic thing, the rest being, even if it's nothing but unskilled labor, how are you with building shit? Even if it's walls of cars and other assorted things you find.
Not done it. Wasn't my thing. I just drove him.
Speaking of, is there any vehicles laying around here? Did y'all manage to get out with any?
He shakes his head. No. Just
What
a
about
bunch
ones that you left up there?
Now that, especially if you could extract them from the wall, the massive barricade that we had erected, to avoid the situation we encountered anyway. You could get a number of serviceable vehicles, assuming the Deathless haven't driven away with them. Which, after what I've seen over the past month, I wouldn't put it past him.
Any opinion on this, Tony?
Yeah, I'm all for it.
He helped us, we help him.
Yeah, I remember that. It's pretty legit, dude. We need more smokers around here. Can't trust us non-smokers.
Just means you're going to go through your supply twice as fast.
True.
Kills him on the spot.
Alfonso says, I do have a few things hidden around here, somewhere or another. I don't think they relocated my stash just yet, and there are quite a number of things within the town hall that I was able to see quite a bit. There's, at one point there were 5 dozen or so among us. We had enough food to carry us through, especially with all the hunting that we did. 2 weeks or so? Assuming that you have fewer than 60 people, might have a bit more.
That is music to our ears.
Let's see, do the math, divide by 3, carry the 1. Yeah, we have less than 60 people. Now, not to put rain on Alfonso's parade. I mean, he's an alright dude, and I'm totally for him, joining up. What about these 4 ladies?
Yeah, what do you know about them?
Alfonso looks over to his left and says, well, they were marked and chosen to be sacrifices by my brother for reasons I understand about as well as I understood what he became, which is to say, not at all. Only that he wanted to, and so he did. They have been acquired prisoners over our time, people like yourselves who managed to fall into the clutches of my brother, Dominic, at which point they were unwilling to accept the situation. Then this was their fate, and would have been their fate. As someone who has sacrificed his life to try to protect and help these people escape, I am loath to write any of them off. They are ones who have rejected my brother. Not like the... And then he casts an accusing glare at the cell that has the 4 girls in it. You.
Well, one way or the other, we're going to let you all out.
Yep.
There's, various states of if they're conscious. So, like, sort of like brief acknowledgement. Looks like they've been through the hell that Sam has been through, and so they're not all there right now. Alfonso looks over the four of them back to Fletch and Tony and says, I think I might count as their spokesman for the time being. They've been through a few things.
Okay. They might know a thing or two about doing stuff. Okay. Fletch. What do we do about the little girls now?
Those, like, the Alfonso's ears prick up. We should kill them. I would kill them.
Yeah,
Gladly.
Fletch just kind of shrugs. Yeah, we'll figure that out later. It's not like they're going anywhere.
The four of them, start pleading for their lives and then talking about how great the Master is and how they're going to
Master's
strike
dead.
all of you down.
Oh, wait. They said they're going to plead for their lives and then they immediately turn into trying to kill us?
They're not exactly the most logical right now.
Yeah, honestly, first reaction when they say how they're going to kill us all, I shoot the closest one in the head.
Alright.
Not even going to blink.
She dies.
I tried saying shut up.
The others fall silent.
Thank you. Gives him a smile and then looks back to Alphonse and the others.
Alfonso says, now that was a perfectly good bullet call.
It's a waste of a bullet. I should have stabbed her.
Oh, now that's my kind of pragmatism.
Fletch actually looks like he's regretting using the bullet when he has other options.
Alfonso says, "By the
Like,
way-"
as soon as the words are out of Alfonso's mouth, Fletch is like, shit, you're right.
This is why we need you
shouldn't have
along.
shot her. I even just said I should have stabbed her.
Yep. Weren't you traveling with two others? Where did they go? He, like, peers behind you.
Look
They're
up to the
around.
left.
They didn't.
Son of a-
Jax and
They're-
Ace are not in the jail.
They're doing their thing.
Ah.
I assume they're looking for all the things you were just talking about are stashed around here.
We'll
Right.
find them.
We call on the radio and just basically, how's it going out there?
Jax will respond, oh, nothing much, just... And then you hear, like, the sound of, like, wood splintering and then shattering. Opening some doors.
Just so cool.
We got a lead on decent stockpile of food somewhere around here.
Right, the town hall.
Gotcha.
Which, you know, he had mentioned all of the food earlier, so...
Well,
I whispered it, and it is.
what do we want to do with these four for now? Aside from let them out, but
Well...
I'm not sure if they'll want to stay with us, and they're
Well, we can take them back.
take them back
maybe
and talk to them there.
Talk them to have Kat talk to them, because, you know, thing.
Because, you know, Kat's so good at recruiting people.
Alfonso says, whether their minds can be salvaged or not, I can't say. Not even I understand what they've all been through. But that being said, if anyone is actually useful in this situation, why not venture to keep them? Particularly if the food situation will be resolved. And besides, long-term survival requires people of all sorts, right?
Like you said, they rejected his way of things.
Right.
I'm willing to give them a chance if they want it, as long as they're a good fit.
Bush is freaking out. Tallador chat. People are spamming.
Someone's talking really quietly.
That's Chris.
Yes.
Sorry.
Secret conversations.
Sorry.
Hidden whispers in the night.
So I guess we'll just be looking now. Unlock their cages, whatever.
Alright. They're pretty staggered, like, they're really slow too, and they're all, like, maybe at a quarter of their life points. So they're pretty slow to rise, but given the whole alternative of like stay here or go, they're gonna follow you for the time being, and maybe they can make their own mental choices in the future, like Sam.
Because she's totally making her own choices.
She's still
Processing.
Kind of what I'm seeing. Like, it's only been a couple days for her, but we're basically should probably be expecting quite a bit of time before any of them could even become useful, unless they, for lack of better terms, make some awesome willpower rolls.
Yeah, unlike player characters, particularly Fletch, but even like the situation where Potman and Trusty Tony only got hit once. They were only around that for like a few fleeting moments. There's people who've been around that for a month.
And they got to see it being cut down and destroyed, more or less. I imagine that could be a bit liberating after it hurts you.
Sam got to see all that shit. Not the others, though. Alas.
Just give it a shrug and
To summarize this up and to allow everyone to meet together back with a group, the 5 NPCs who have been out of jail will follow you. The 3 cultist girls, well, with that in mind, Jax is all for the opinion of keeping them. Ace is like, nah, just let them run around and play. Alfonso is all for killing them.
I would be all for the whole, we're wrapping everything up and be like, hey guys, I'll be right with you and go kill them all.
And then bam, bam, bam.
No, I would open the door and
He's
just
not going to
down.
use any more bullets.
Yeah,
He's making bam noises.
He's already been yes. As for supplies as well, let's see. There's 3 small knives that the cultist girls were carrying. There's also 2 22 LRs with 8 shots each, so that's 16 shots total. They each have a capacity of 10. You just want a bunch of empty rifles, like a quiver of empty rifles to throw at zombies.
They shot at me, thereby the transitive property of something I just made up.
There is also, about as Alfonso had noted, you're gonna need a vehicle for this. You're gonna need to bring a vehicle. There is 900 rations within the town hall.
Huh.
All within, like, dried meats and canned food and other sorts of preservables. Candies, 3D Doritos. A lot of it's, like, junk food type things that basically...
Well, they did get our car, so of course they got all the Doritos.
That basically...
Do they have the car?
They don't have a vehicle here.
They didn't get out with the car.
Right.
What a
It was just random people carrying different amounts.
Yes, but and all sorts of preservatives like candies and sort of thing. Like this has been like a cult, a considerable size that was operating out of Boonesboro, who ambushed other people as well as they were traveling through and took their supplies. So they have a large assortment of goods.
You know what we do? You go get that forklift. We throw some wood on the forks and then pile it all on top.
And yes, there is a fuck ton of chairs, tables, desks, like flammable shit that belongs in households, bookcases.
Flammable shit that belongs in households.
Yes.
Oh man, I need to start a furniture company called that.
Not only that, but like chemicals and stuff that would be flammable, like accelerants,
Sure.
That's in there too.
Right, I'm just saying.
The correct term is flammable shit that belongs in households.
Yeah, I'm serious. That's a great name for a company that sells chairs.
Shits.
So how many trips are we going to take to get as much of this useful shit back?
It's pretty much going to be a day-long affair.
All right.
Because Jax will be like, we hit the fucking mother load. Ace will whistle. Yeah. That's to visualize it. That's 900 rations.
Yeah, that's definitely not Not a trivial number.
Which takes the number from 33 to 933.
33
Potman is
minus...
literally
well,
going to sob in relief.
I would actually want to ask Alfonso, like, is any of this food questionable, or is it good to go?
Alfonso shrugs and says, I don't think there's any problem with it, but if you want to stay away from, like, the meat that's just been preserved and dried, you imagine after the zombie apocalypse hit, you could just stick to all the packaged candies and shit. That would basically cut you down from 900 to 600.
I need a moment. I'm not currently involved in that, but I'll be in a moment.
Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't understand those words.